Welcome back, guys, and I am excited to talk about this case because it is going to be my new gaming case moving forward. So in this video I wanted to show the unit as stock as possible, other than a few little things, like for example the lighting that you've seen down here, that glow coming out of the shroud. I did that. I put some RGB lighting under there just because it can be done, and I can show you guys how I did that. And just the lighting, you know, from your cooler and so on. So other than that, this case is factory. The factory 240 fan in the front and the factory 240 fan in the rear. So I did no alterations yet. So that's not how this is going to be my gaming machine, and you'll see that in a new video. But right now, I wanted to do the review as fair as possible, as if you were buying the case, taking it home, putting your hardware in it, and moving forward. Key really cool things I want to point out, of course, right off the bat, is this RGB coming here on the leg and moving up through the front. How cool is that? This is just absolutely gorgeous. I love the way they did that. I tried lighting up on the 900, as you've seen in my videos, through the mesh and through the mesh, just trying to give it that extra add-on that the case didn't have. Well, they went that level for me here on this, so I didn't need to play around that way. So I'll be playing around in some other ways. Fit, finish, and feel is absolutely what you'd expect from bequiet. So bequiet has one thing that everybody seems to complain about. Other than the build, the quality, and the top-notch tech that goes into these cases, we cannot deny that they make some of the best cases, period. But people complain about thermo. So they say that the front closed casing and only side vents are cutting back the airflow going into this case. So I took it upon myself to run the system without the glass panel on it, run it under a stress test for 10 minutes to get the heat results, and to do a Cinebench R20 to see what the scores are like with the glass off and the glass on. I know that doesn't make sense, but it actually does. So I'm going to jump to that video right now. Okay guys, so right now we're going to test thermos. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stress the CPU and everything and see how the airflow is with the side off. Now the reason why I'm doing this, people are always complaining about the design here for airflow. So what I'm going to do, we have a very open case right now, as you can see. I'm going to do a burn-in, see what the temperatures reach, like this. Then I'm going to put the cover on and do the exact same test with the factory setup. So the factory 240 in, factory 240 out. Now later on, all this is changing. Can't wait, but I have to get the review done the way it's supposed to be, so you guys know what you're looking to buy. So with the side panel off, so everything was open and cold, the Fans were drawing in as much and pushing as much air as they could possibly push and pull. We were 1.5 degrees cooler in a stress test. That is enough for me right there to go, I'm not worried about air coming in. When I'm finished, there's going to be some air coming in. Now, going on to the build. This case was a dream build. Very easy. The only thing that I have to say, my only con of this case, and literally it's my only con, along here, the gap between the motherboard frame and the shroud frame is very, very small. So I had to, for certain parts to go through, I had to kind of put something there just to pry. It wasn't much, so it's not something that we can't get around. It's just something that I noticed I wanted to address. And that was, unless you're coming through, now, keep this in mind. They didn't intend for you to come through here by any means. They thought, you know, you're coming through these as it was designed. But us case builders, we don't do that. So we want to come through and have as little cable as possible, like the USB 3 right here. Now I'm just going to zoom in on that and show you what I mean. So right here, we have your USB 3 cable. Now USB 3 cables are a pretty thick piece, so it's kind of hard to hide. And I wish they would come up with something. Now, there are L brackets I was going to buy, but in this case, the L bracket would do me no good whatsoever. So that piece there had to go through this little gap. So I had to take my screwdriver. The screwdriver here from bequiet was perfect with this long shaft. And I just pried a little to get the head of this USB 3 connector through. And Bob was your uncle. Now, one of the other things that I liked about this build was the distance between the board and the rubber grommets. It's very tight to the grommets, and that also may be playing a factor with this part being a little shorter, as the cooling is much better going across here, whereas in the 900 there's probably another inch or an inch and a half distance between the fans and the hardware. So that could be one of the deciding factors what made this case run a little cooler overall. I'm not going to use any of this, so it's just going to stay nice and flat. I will be doing some alterations here, and of course some alterations here. Now, as you've seen in the open box video, this can pull out, and you can mount a radiator or more fans, swing it back in, and I just thought that was absolutely beautiful. You have your exhaust vents right here on the top, which will allow in a pull configuration, so if you were pulling air in and pulling air out, which is the ideal setup for this type of case, then everything will exhaust out through here. Even if you have fans blowing up in here, they'll just blow it out this way. So overall, I think that's a pretty good design. I will not know 100% how all that's going to factor until I actually set up this system and see, because I'll be able to take the numbers of the cooling and how the machine ran before, and I'll be able to do it after my mods. So that's going to be something interesting to see. Can we get it down below those temps just by doing what my brain is telling me to do for my own personal gaming unit? So I've really fallen in love with this case. Now, as far as room goes, as you can see here, it is very neat. It's very clean. There's still tons of room. This gives you the whole full tower experience. And that is something that I really, really like about this. Now, on the front, as we all know, there's an RGB button, so I can change the colors or have the lights do different things, whether it's making them pulse or, there we go, which is kind of neat because I see the green coming through here. So what I did was I actually hooked up that RGB setup to the controller that's built in, and this is all board controlled, so that's why it's not changing any colors. And of course you got all your different colors, which is really, really nice. There's our orange that we would expect from bequiet. So there's that bequiet look right there. And purple or whatever. And of course the white looks really nice on this case as well. And of course it comes down to if you're a fan of whatever. And here it is, no light whatsoever. So if you don't want lights, don't have them. Of course I'm the red guy, so everything's going to go straight back to red. Now, as far as mounting, you have no issues whatsoever to put a 360 or a 240 in the front and apparently on top. Again, until I do some tests, I won't know that fully, but I will actually address that in another video where it's going to be my complete build, how I want this case to look. And you can always ask questions in between as I'm doing it as well, and if I have the answers, I'll definitely answer them for you. As far as video cards go, you can still add 2 cards if you want to. It's a dying idea, but the possibility is still there. Okay guys, so now as to the bigger story. Where and what is it like when you're hiding your wires from inside? Now, bequiet did include these wonderful strap downs, and they just loop through the little metal loops that are in here already, and as you can see, there was no trouble hiding wire in this case at all. Now, another thing I did add, I added a splitter right here, so this is added. So what you're seeing right there is not factory. What I used to light up the RGB under the shroud, and I decided to give it an extra output just in case there was something else I wanted to do kind of sneaky or hidden. Most of everything else I'm going to put in here should either go to its own controller or to the board. So again, you have 2 more SSD hard drive mounts here and 1 here. I'm not going to use either of these. I have 2 M.2s in here, which I'll discuss in my future video. And of course now the bequiet 850 Platinum. I wanted to show the space that's given here. As you can see, this is that Platinum 850 power supply, and look at the ease of putting it in. Like, there's nothing stopping me from putting this in and sliding it into place. Another thing too, which is really cool, there's actually rubber underneath the power supply here, so there's no vibration. I thought that was really nice. And of course your air filter system, so this isn't going to get gummed up. You can clean the air filter from the front, just slide it in, bolt it in. Lots of space here for connecting up your cables and also hiding your cables, as the power supply doesn't need to breathe too much from this side, actually none at all. And away you go. 80 plus platinum is in here. That's going to be the powerhouse for this computer, and I gotta say, I'm very impressed with it. I do have an open box video that's coming up on that as well, and I'll show you guys what that is like and what it looks like and what actually comes with it. It's a very nice, very heavy, very quality built power supply, and that's something that I love to see from bequiet. So guys, as you can see, there is no issues of hiding or wire placement in this case. There's tons of room. There's no issues whatsoever. Putting the back on or off with these wires is not a hassle, as I've seen in other case builds. Just another note before I put everything back together. You can see that, of course, there is that sound dampening material on the inside of the case that bequiet is well known for. The side panel is metal or tin. It is not aluminum like the rest of the case, but hey, that's a very minor thing. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and overall, again, the only con I had was the space gap between here and here to pass cables through. Other than that, I'm totally pro on the case. I have no real issues. Now, saying that, I haven't done my complete custom build. So in the next video that you see with this case, it's going to be my way. Or the highway. And hopefully it's not the highway, because I really like this case. I think this case has everything that I was looking for in a new gaming case. The only thing I wish they would do is light up that bequiet emblem right there. And I'm thinking about figuring out a way to order another shroud and get it cut out and light it up somehow, because I just love it. Or maybe some sort of LastGameHunter logo, huh? That'd be awesome. So guys, I do recommend the case. Absolutely. If you are looking to purchase it, of course, I will leave a link. I don't know if there's any black ones left right now on Amazon in Canada, but there's definitely white ones, or I can just link straight to bequiet's webpage as well, so you can take a look at their great products. They have a lot of really cool and interesting things that most enthusiasts are definitely well looking for. You cannot beat their power supplies. If anything, look at their power supplies. They're so well done. So overall, I give this thing a double thumbs up right now. I'm going to do the alterations that I want to do, return to this case in another video moving forward, and give you my overall thoughts as me personally having it as my personal machine. So guys, till next time, I hope you enjoyed this overview of this case. Again, it is everything that I expected from bequiet, and hopefully everything that I'm going to expect from it with the thoughts in my head. Guys, game over. Yo, I gotta take it slow. I gotta build this thing like a mind blow.